Hey everybody, welcome back to 3D6 Down the Line. It's episode 48 of the Halls of Arden Vul Megadungeon by Richard Barton, using the old school essential system by Gavin Norrin, otherwise known as Necrotic Gnome. I am John. I'm your referee for the evening. We have a full house going around the horn. We have...
Hi, I am Mike. I play Gorand, the 5th level dwarf.
I'm David, and I play Ren, the 1st level elf.
Very well done. I'm Matt. I play Avaricios, the 6th level cleric and left hand of Lycia.
Hi, I'm Ted. For the moment, I am still playing Mortis J. Gobliano Goblin, but since I have a particular propensity for setting off explosives, I am very close to having a very new character myself.
I mean, the good news is not much. It wouldn't take. It won't take much of an explosive now.
No, it's true.
You would have definitely died if you'd been here last session, man. You would definitely have been dead.
Yep, probably true.
Yep.
Or you would have been having to force to make those rolls. That's for sure.
Right.
Right. Okay,
meanwhile,
so
David is now a lower level than Matt's NPCs.
it's true. But he's an elf. He's an elf, and that makes all the difference because he's basically two.
But I'm so pretty. Yeah.
In reality, he's basically two PCs in one. You have like both a first level fighter and a first level magic user added to the
I'm going to do my best not to be incredibly greedy for as much looting as possible with this elf, so I can get that experience.
Nice. Yeah. So the big news, big elephant in the room, is that we had a great tragedy last time on Weir, the illusionist, fan favorite, kicked the bucket, unfortunately. The victim of a weird sci-fi robot guardian thing, the same thing that killed an Anaximander. So we bid farewell to Onweir. His corpse is back up the hallway. They did the best they could to give him a proper burial. And then in walked Rin. So we have this elf with us now as well. It's the 2nd of Gelenios. It's about 10:40 in the morning. Gord is still penalized with strength due to no. Did that expire?
I went swimming in that magic pool, and you said my strength penalty.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Thank you. I totally forgot about that. I knew there was a note here I couldn't read. Okay, so yeah, no more penalized from Eustace the Pentarch. And they are currently in a watery grotto that is dimly lit by luminescent moss hanging from the ceiling, which is dominated in the middle of this pool by a huge helmeted and braided head of Arden. The head itself has been, or the water level anyway, is up as far as the top lip of Arden. So it gives very much that sort of Martin Sheen from Apocalypse Now sort of vibe as it sort of rises out of the water, kind of looking, and the streaks of water are kind of streaming down from its eyes. Yeah, so it's very, very grim and foreboding and huge and dominant, and all the shadows like playing out over the water. And so they determined quickly, this was Rin, determined that there was a current that was in the grotto itself that was pulling everything towards the eastern end of the grotto, which they have not investigated. They have not investigated the bottom of the grotto. They've only swam near the top. And they have used their ingenuity and ropes, gotta love ropes, to get their way to the head, observe that there was something navigable in the nostrils of Arden, have not investigated, went around to the other side, picked up what dry land there was on the sides of this grotto, and went up on the western end of it, where they discovered empty torch sconces on the western side and a set of 2 inscriptions, one very large in 2-foot Mithric letters and one very small in 6-inch letters. 2-foot tall letters read, "Let all persons honor the sacrifice of Arden, founder of this site and defender of her people." Directly underneath in 6-inch letters, carved, "Lucullus Oxia had this made as thanks to Lady Arden for rescuing him." So, and then there were 2 unlit clay lamps beneath the inscriptions, and then there was 3 tarnished ancient Archontian silver pennies scattered around as well. So the inscription is interesting on this one. On the southern ledge, at the far end of the southern edge of the grotto, was a corpse with its hand dangling over the edge, which they have yet to investigate. As well, signs of something disturbing here. The flotsam that had washed up the steps that led into this chamber from the north were filled with not only detritus, but also body parts of animals and what appeared to be humanoids, bones, meat, gross things like that. Otherwise, it's been relatively quiet. And last thing before we jump into the action is there was a lot of great comments about the way that the problems we had running combat last time. And everyone kind of sensed our frustration with how the OSE rules as written weren't quite measuring up to what we actually wanted to do, which was they were realistic asks that I didn't have answers for. So a lot of great comments in the comment section. I'm going to cherry pick one by commenter Sean9223, who offered a pretty cool solution that I'm just going to give a whirl. I'm not married to it, but real quick, everything's going to stay the same. As far as declaring movement and melee and declaring spell casting, side-based initiative, all that kind of stuff. But I'm going to do away with phases. And basically what it's going to be is on your turn, or your round, an individual character can do 2 actions. One of those actions can be demanding or difficult, and the other one should be trivial in a manner that it could be easily multitasked with the more demanding task. The classic one would be attack and move. Attack being demanding, move being trivial, or taking out a weapon would be trivial, that sort of thing. So I think that'll dovetail nicely in with my other house rules for weapon traits and all that kind of stuff. It shouldn't cause too many problems. So we'll see how it works, but that's where we're going to go from here. That'll allow the freedom for them to decide more creative things to do in combat, I feel. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe they won't even get into combat.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, John, I think it sounds fun. I had one point of clarification. I just want to make sure.
Mm-hmm.
The way that we got over from the head of the statue over to that platform on the west,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that we still have a piton in the statue.
You do? Yep.
Okay, just keeping that in mind in case when it's time to get back over there, or if we need it for some other reason. That's good to know that that's in there.
Is the rope still stretching across that span?
I think we left it, because we kind
ended
of
the session
slid
right
over.
after doing it. Yeah.
And we'd want to get back over there at some point, I imagine, anyway. So that's probably a good thing to keep.
Right. Okay, so I don't remember how much time I said that 8 up, so I'll just make it up as we go. But anyways, yeah. So if we look at the map here, there is an actual rope that's extending from the western side of Arden's Head to the western platform of the grotto. You don't really need infravision, but it's not completely lit. You've got Avaricios' continual light, which is doing the 30-foot thing, but the whole entire chamber is generally lit. It's very dim, though, with this sort of phosphorescent moss, right? So it's like a kind of a dull black light sort of vibe to it, which only increases the foreboding nature of the gigantic head of Arden. It's humid, moist, doesn't smell too great. That's the deal. What's up?
Lucellus.
Mm-hmm.
Did that name come across in any of our Trials of Arden books that we gathered, her saving this person?
It has not, no.
Okay.
It's a Lucullus, and you get the feeling that it's probably a male name.
Okay.
John, I'm curious. I don't know of any sacrifices Arden has made in any of the stories. Everything has been her and Vul being very victorious. Have we run across anything talking about her making any great sacrifice, or maybe this is something about the 12th labor that is lost? Or
that's a good question. No, you have not run across anything that has noted her final sacrifice or anything like that. Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah,
Final is an interesting word there.
One other theory that we had, Ted, was that we know that the statue is basically a bust with everything below the nose, like basically submerged, kind of, right?
Yeah.
So one of our theories is that there's some mechanism in here to either drain the water or stop the water from coming in or something like that. But then the other dark side of that is there might be something that floods the chamber with us in it. And we have this body on the south side, on that platform on the south side, that we have not had a chance to investigate yet to see how he met his demise.
Yeah, mostly because when we came into this room, it was up above. Like all we could see was a little arm kind of dangling over the edge, and so we don't know. And I guess we weren't paying attention to it when we were up on top of the statue. But
we also neglected to. Sorry, go ahead, Ted.
Well, the water's actively moving. You said there's a current, so there's a source and there's a drain, or a to and from.
That's the essential question: is what is the source? Because it certainly doesn't seem like there's any water that's ingressing into here, right? And second of all, just to clarify, Matt, we did clarify that you could see an actual corpse sprawled across when you're on top of the thing, but you just were you were too far away to determine the nature of it.
Right.
Okay, I have a question. Well, I have two. Yeah. One, a note for Ted. We talked about it on Discord, but we neglected to look into the flotsam. It is possible to get back there if we want to, so it's something to like put in the back of our heads because there may be clues to the room, et cetera, et cetera. Also, John, now that we're talking about the curtain, and now that we have made our way to the westmost side of this room, I do have a specific question. Does the current start from the westmost wall, or does it on any point from Arden's head to that wall, does the current appear to subside? In other words, like what I'm getting at is like if there was to use a modern term, like a pipe shooting this water out, right? And it was halfway in between the two, the current wouldn't be going eastward all the way to at the westmost edge, right?
Right.
I'm trying to discern the location of the source is what I'm getting at. Basically.
Yes. Okay. So when you were able to determine
I can spend a turn to do that.
The presence of current whenever you were dipping your toes in and crossing across the rope on the western side, and you can confirm that the current did exist there as well.
Okay. And the water is a few feet deep?
It's very deep.
Quite deep? Very deep.
Yeah, you're not exactly sure, but it's deep.
You said something in like the 30, 40 feet-ish.
Yep.
Which would mean that we couldn't or might not really be able to see the bottom with our light when we were swimming.
And it also means that Arden's head may in fact be more of her body than just her head.
Possibly.
I think we determined that it was like a bust, right? Like, so it's like from here up, but the bust is sitting on the floor. It's not like a full statue going down hundreds and hundreds of feet. But John did also tell us that the scale of the head in this room is similar to the one on the cliff face.
Yeah, I didn't mean that specifically. It's just more like the enormity and presence of it. It kind of gives you that impression. Just like it's like one of the biggest representations you've ever seen of her.
To be clear, a chain attached to its head?
A chain?
There's a chain on it, you said?
No chain.
Helmet. Beach on, yeah.
We have a pipe.
Okay, I misunderstood something else you said then when you were describing it. I thought you said
it.
Helm and braids.
Are there watermarks at any point?
What's that?
Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
Are there watermarks at any point on the head as if like the water was habitually higher or lower at any point?
Good question. No, actually.
Just the tears.
It looks like it's only as far as like the lips.
Okay.
What was I going to say? Two things to keep in mind if you want to go underwater is that your infravision still works. Yeah. In fact, Rin's popped off all over the place because there's numerous fish and crayfish all in the water. And in addition, Avaricios's continual light will work. It's another actually unforeseen benefit of that spell versus a torch or lantern, which you would not be able to bring underwater. But Avaricios can, actually, if you can find a way to have him breathe.
Or hold my breath. Now, John, this was something that I was curious about. Like, are there specific breath holding rules that say how long we can be underwater? I know there are in other editions, but I don't
think there's very specific ones.
Just like what makes sense. Okay.
I feel like one rule of thumb was just 1 round per point of constitution.
If you guys wanted, if you guys want to hold your breath, you're gonna have to let me know. But
well, if I go underwater, I'm gonna want to hold my breath.
And nobody went up Arden's nostril, is that right?
No, we didn't get a chance to do that.
We want to.
Well, guys,
is it Yost sized or goblin sized?
It was three. Each nostril was like 3 feet.
Yeah, I was going to climb up there, but a goblin can do it in my stead if you'd like to.
Well, here's
one hit point probably should.
The theory is that my theory was that those are the mechanisms for draining or filling the water.
Oh, I was also wondering it might come from the eyes. That's why it's like leaking out of there. But yeah, the nose is probably a good like entrance pipe. You know, one thing I was curious about just in terms of logistics. Also, remember we're starving, and at least right now, Avaricios and y'all are penalized everywhere. And there are fish. We have nets. We could, before we start like poking around at stuff, which might, trigger the flooding or wake the monster or whatever. What if we just tried to like catch a few of these fish or a few of these crawfish and throw them in our pack so that we would feel, because I would hate to have to run away from this room screaming.
Sure.
and not have any food.
I fully support you going for some fish. While you're doing that, maybe with someone assisting, would it maybe make sense for us? Like, I can go back and look at the flotsam while you're fishing. I'm just trying to think of in terms of like turns, time spent. Maybe we can do a little surveying while y'all are fishing.
One thing I was kind of thinking about trying, David, is trying to find where the current is coming in. I suspect it's going to be somewhere on that western wall. So since armor is fairly heavy, like we could tie a rope around me, drop me down with like the symbol, you know, and then
I just want to fish first because that seems like
let's do simultaneous though. Not everybody needs to dangle Gorand and you can fish. The other thing we might want to do is go over to that other body.
Oh, we definitely want to check that body out.
If you're worried we're going to trigger something though, Matt, I'm fine just letting you do that first.
Well, trigger something, and also a splashy dwarf's going to scare the fish away.
So we have Rin's rations now. We have like a whole other day's worth of rations for everybody.
Yeah. But I like the idea of fishing. Sure. If it's how long would it take, John? Do you think?
We take a turn to just like toss our nets in and like
toss nets. You've got a bag that definitely has fish hooks in it.
That's what I was going to say.
Well, I already have one fish hook. We'd probably need a lure because I don't have any bait.
You can pull that from the bag, baby.
But I don't have. I mean, right now we have nets, and I don't know the size of these fish. We can just give that a try. Y'all and Elizabeth both have nets. We could just
So I would say it's fishing. So it's an unprecise art, right? So what I'm going to do is I would actually just roll. I think what would be fair is to say a D4, and that would be the number of turns it takes, and then I would roll a random number of fish caught. Does that sound good?
That's great.
Is that all right with you guys?
Let's do that.
Okay.
So, all right. So you get your nets out and you toss them into the water, and you hope to catch some crayfish and fish. Let's see what we got here. We got 4 turns. 2, 3, 4.
All right.
Don't mind me. Give me a second.
Are we making sushi or are we going to light a fire?
1 second.
What have we got to burn?
Why don't we do this? If we can catch it, it's going to take some time. Why don't we go ahead and at least the starving people, let's eat those rations so that we're not at the -1 penalty. If that would fix it.
1 or 2 of us that were actually at a penalty.
I'm gonna roll.
Y'all and Avery's, yes.
I'm gonna roll 2d4, and that will be the number of rations that of fish worth that you caught. Okay.
Fair enough.
3 plus 3. Is that 3?
Hey, 6. Yeah.
Okay, so you got 6 rations from fishing.
Worth of fish.
Yeah.
And if you guys are worried about cooking it and want to have some of Ren's rations first, it's fine. Just at the start. I was a little confused at what you were saying there.
Yeah. Let's eat some rations now, and we'll cook the fish later if we get a chance. But at least we have the protein available.
So what should I mark off then?
2 rations.
2, if that's okay.
Okay, so this is like 40 minutes of relatively quiet work. Okay, as you're just sort of dragging these nets in and just kind of hoping to find things, but nothing seems to disturb anything. It's just like that constant presence of Arden in the distance.
Okay, now can we do my dangle the dwarf into the water thing?
Quick question though. Looking at the map, there was a staircase. Is that going down or up?
So Ted, you could actually draw like a little bit of craggy wall that basically encapsulates that staircase and connects it into the lake proper, because that's basically what's happening. There's like a stairway that basically goes down 10 feet into the water, sort of like
into the water.
Yeah.
Oops, that's the wrong color.
Do we want to light those clay lamps for light?
Well, we also have the sconces, right?
The sconces, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe we should investigate the sconces and see if there are mechanisms for opening doors or anything like that.
John, are we all fishing, or could somebody check those out while y'all and
Mm-hmm.
you guys check them out while I do that fish?
While they're fishing, John, I want to investigate the sconces.
Sure. You do not see anything amiss, but they look like they could easily hold a torch.
Okay. And then what about the lanterns? Do they still have oil in them?
They do. The oil's very old, but you could actually make them function, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to spark them up.
Okay. They light.
All right. I think Mort and Yost, if you guys haven't already done this, should look for secret doors on those 3 walls.
You should. It's 2 walls. That third wall is basically, I think, is just open with the staircase going down to the wall.
The eastern wall is just like a ledge that goes.
That's just like the top of the
I was
platform.
actually talking about the southern wall, which has 10 feet of non-ledge from the way it's drawn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
you looking for anything particular, Ted? Any specific sort of thing, or what?
Well, I assume this is Archontian stone.
It is, yeah.
Undecorated, apart from the the inscriptions.
That's correct. Yep.
So, I'd say we're probably looking for, the secret doors we found of similar stonework before have always been. Well, we found things that are integrated into artwork, so we don't have any of that. So probably something like we've found where there hasn't been artwork, where there's been little wires or triggers similar to the secret door into the out of Plunger Town that we escaped from, or the secret compartment in the gladiatorial school.
Sure.
Those kinds of mechanisms.
Okay, so knowing what to look for with the way that Archontians tend to put in their secret doors, you give it a thorough look and conclude that there's nothing there.
Okay.
So you fished, you've lit the torches. I mean, all this was simultaneous. It is now 11:30 in the morning.
All right. I think
Is it
two
still,
things.
Is it still the second of Velenos, or is it the third?
Second day. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
David?
I would like to. I mean, ultimately, all I want to do is go with the nose. But prior to doing that, perhaps go look at the flotsam, as it might inform the rest of our exploration of this room. I think, in the interest of doing that, rather than untethering the rest of our rope, does anyone else have rope on their person? Do our retainers have a second source of rope? I'd love to do okay. I'd like to tighten a separate line than the one we have going to Arden's head from where I'm at, and use the current to drift down, behind the Arden's head down to that hallway. Is that possible?
Back the way that you came in?
Yes, to go look at that flotsam.
Yes, but you would have to attach something on the eastern side, right, to safely get into the tunnel? Unless I'm missing something.
I couldn't use the current to swim left when I got to it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're coming west to east. The current is taking me eastward.
Yeah.
And there's no current, I'm assuming, going up to the stairs, just in the room itself.
Yeah.
So I would swim with the current to the left while I was upstream, quote unquote, from that point. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah. If you're cool with being untethered when you're in that tunnel.
No. I want to be tethered the whole time. That's what I'm asking. I want to have enough rope. I'm asking the gang if we have enough rope for me to do that while there's rope around my waist.
Gotcha. Okay.
How many lengths do we use
feet of rope?
We used 100 feet before, although we don't need 100 feet for the span from the head to the platform. So maybe we could untie some, but I don't want to be too wheedly about it because we didn't
10,
declare
20,
it.
30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. You would need 90 feet to get back into the tunnel if you're going around Arden's head.
Why don't I also just I can pull an extra 50 feet out of the bag.
All right. So if you want to put 100 feet on me, undo another python, because I'm just going to leave it fixed in case any of us need this. Tie the other side of my waist.
Yeah.
Dive in.
Okay.
Go check out the flotsam.
Cool. First of all, Matt, make sure that I know you're good at this, but just reminding you to mark off everything you're pulling out of Laryl's bag.
I always keep it on my sheet.
Awesome. And I'm going to say it's going to take a turn for David to get himself in order to, like wrap himself around, just do the python, the whole thing. Okay. The rest of you guys are going to watch basically and make sure that Rin's okay, right?
Yeah. David, do you want to go by yourself?
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I'm just going to go solo. It's fine. I'm just looking at the flotsam.
All right.
I mean, if you want to come with me, you can. I just, in terms of, safety, I think probably one is enough.
Do we want to multitask and go dwarf fishing at the same time that you're swimming over there?
I think that's fine if we have the bodies for it. John, before I go dwarf dipping, I'm gonna strip off my armor, and I'm gonna ask Avaricios to keep my armor and my weapons and shit in the bag. So if we have to escape,
okay,
I'm not trying to pick it up and run with it.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Elizabeth can just set. Oh, go ahead, John.
Sorry, the armor will not fit in the bag.
Oh,
no,
never mind.
It's chainmail. You can't roll it up into a tube and drop it in.
It's just chainmail.
Yeah, I'm just wearing chain.
Okay, well, I can't do your shield.
Shield
That's
won't
way
work.
Too big.
Yeah, chain.
The shield is fine. Shield, we can pick up and carry, kind of thing. Yep.
Does that sound reasonable, Ted, as someone who knows about this shit?
Yes, you absolutely can roll up a male shirt and leggings pretty. I mean, they roll up nicely, and you could just slide it in. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
For sure.
That works. Okay. So, all right. So, Goran,
huge dwarven cod piece could be a problem, though. That's.
Rin, are you taking everything with you? I know you don't have a lot, but
baby, I'm in the buff. I'll just jump in. I'll leave my gear behind.
Okay, so the two of you are entering in unarmed and unarmored.
No, I have the spatha on a belt.
Oh, okay, all right, cool.
Okay, fine. I'll put Isocritus' knife in my mouth, pirate style.
Nice.
And that's it.
There we go.
All right, and Elizabeth's cleaning up after the boys is going to put all your shit in the bag. It's okay.
Okay. All right, so we'll wrap up the de-arming and all that kind of stuff along with the rope stuff into the same turn. And then the dwarf and the elf dive back into the water together. It's lovely. And you guys all take a moment just to see how scrawny really Goran is underneath all of that.
So the cod piece is just for show? Is that? Oh, man.
It's all hard muscle, though. It's all like...
He's like one of those Persian cats when you dip them in water, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. It's also the first bath I've had in a while. Just be gentle.
Rin's grateful for that because he was about to leave the group. Okay, so Goran and Rin dive into the water using the rope as guidance, and you swim around the head. Now, you guys are swimming carefully using the rope as guidance, and you get to the what?
I'm not going with him.
You're not. So what? Okay, what am I missing?
I'm diving down to try and find the source of the current. So we split the party into 3, John.
Great. Okay.
Hey, John, how do you like being a DM tonight?
All right, I missed that. I'm sorry. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. All right, so you're going down. Okay. As Rin is going across. Rin, you are traversing across the front of Arden's head, gazing up at the nostril again as you're making your way back, and the current is pulling you. And at the very last second, not fast enough to be able to react in time, unfortunately, I rolled. You see something coming from the other direction in the water towards the west. Like there's ripples that are forming and are coming right at you with great speed. And then you feel yourself, maybe, hold on, what's your AC, Rin?
Oh, I'm naked, so.
You were naked anyways, though, weren't you?
Yeah. I have an AC of an unarmored AC of 9 because I have an 8 dex.
Okay. So so you're like
invisible?
you're kind of traversing through the water, Rin. And then you kind of quickly look over because you spot some weird movement. You're like, what the fuck is moving against the current? And then the rest of you see from a distance up on the platform. Goran's underwater, so he has no idea. You see it's like the opening scene of Jaws with the girl. Right? It's like he's like wading in the water, like using the rope, and all of a sudden he's just like yoink, and he goes back down. And he just gets sucked underneath the water. And you're going to
die.
Can we pull on that rope?
Yeah, y'all would immediately start pulling, but let's see how much of him comes back.
Fish me back, baby.
This was no boating accident.
Yost is ready with the black iron spear, man.
So I rolled for surprise, and it has a ability to surprise. And this could be very brutal.
Oh, I think I'm dead, y'all. I think that's it.
David, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me.
I'm so angry.
How many hit points do you have?
The elf, John, come on. I rolled the best stat block possible. You're going to kill him, right?
I'm not going to kill him. You went swimming.
No, I have oh, brutal. I do love that I'm going to die at the beginning of 2 sessions consecutively.
8.
I have 6 HP, by the way. So, yeah.
Okay.
Start rolling, David.
8, 9. How many D4s have I rolled so far? 6?
Oh my god.
I think it was 6.
Oh, I don't have my dice roller open.
Okay.
4. I see 4.
So you guys are looking out and you're like, what the fuck happened? Right. And he gets yanked underneath the water. And you see some sort of like a red stain start to float up of the water, and then that's quickly followed by something bobbing up to the top of the water.
Oh, God.
And it's Rin's unconscious form. As Rin, you take 9 points of damage.
Ooh-wee.
as you feel something just devour your bottom half, basically, and rip you to shreds as you are fighting, and then you quickly black out and you know no more.
So Mort is gonna like tap Avaricius on the shoulder and be like, "Who was that guy anyway?"
I don't think you're going to have to worry about it.
Gornd, you're using just your improvision to go down, right?
No, I thought I had the continual light thing with me to try and find the tunnel, but maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because we've got the lamps now.
Okay, so Gornd, as you're going down, it takes you a while to like basically swim your way down to the bottom. It's pretty darn deep. Using the continual light, which does illuminate the western side of the sculpture, right in the middle, you can see that it does indeed. What is it? It's the entire shoulders. Yeah, so you were right, Gorn. It is like the bust is like completely underwater, and you can confirm that it does go down about 35 feet. There is plenty of things pinging with the sea life or whatever, the lake life in here as well. And you do see that here and there, scattered across the ground, there does appear to be some items. Some are shining in the continual light. Perhaps that might be worth further investigation. However, your light also illuminates, coming from the east, an enormous form that emerges from a billowing cloud of blood, of a huge, gaping, beaked mouth that is backed entirely behind it with a massive, curved body. It's a huge, snapping turtle of enormous size. And it has eyes only for Gornd, as it basically uses its clawed flippers to basically propel itself downwards with its mouth like open. It just comes straight down on top of you. But you see it coming.
I'm gonna run. Well, I'm gonna go up the rope.
Join me, Gorn. Join me.
We can start pulling him up too.
Yeah, you could. So I would say that that would probably, I would just doing that for dramatic effect. I think the guys on the platform would be able to react initially to seeing Rin's body pop up. So let's handle that reaction first before I call for initiative.
Okay.
Well, hold on. You're going to give him an easy out, not me. Listen, I'm not saying I want a TBK, but if I'm going down, this fucking dwarf better be going with me.
Well, it gave away its stealth thing, right? So it's noticeable now.
All right. We got two strong guys up on the platform. Njal was holding on to one rope. I'm assuming maybe Yost was holding on to the other.
And Mort, man, they're both strong.
Right. So let's as soon as there's trouble, we'd start reeling both of them back up, reeling both of them back in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
absolutely.
Garn, you're like basically mouthing in the water like holy shit, and then you just feel your whole body just go as you're like pulled back. Now, of course, the movement is very much like an earthworm on a bait hook being like yanked.
So the thing where we were gonna like let him sink down and then pull him up and let him sink down and pull him up, that was a bad idea. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the turtle loves it. Right. The turtle loves it.
Turtle loves it.
So you guys are hauling as fast as you can. You have a lot of people on it, so it's not going to take that much effort to get them up. But the turtle, it's its natural environment. It moves really fucking fast. It's a predator, and it likes things that are wriggling. That's what a Gorin is doing.
Stop wriggling, Gorin!
I need to, first of all, spells. No one's in melee movement. No one's in melee, so any spells being cast.
Let me see if I even have anything that can help here. Let's see.
I feel awful for incapacitating David in the first 5 minutes of the episode. It's the second time in a row, but it is what it is.
Actually, you know what? Yes, I am going to cast a spell.
You're going to cast a spell. Okay, cool. Yeah. Roll for initiative, please.
Okay, I'll do it. I can beat a 2.
You better beat a 2.
I got the 2. You did. See, you got a 3.
Right.
Okay. Nice. So, like I said, spells still have the same provisos and restrictions. So that's the only thing that you can do, Avaricios. You cannot help pull them up. Meanwhile, everyone else it's your top of the round. You guys can now do each one demanding, one trivial. What do you do?
All right.
right.
So Avaricios makes it clear that the spell that he's going to he's going to try to get some interference along the way.
Mhm.
He's going to cast his sticks to snakes spell.
Oh.
If there is with some of the flotsam on the water, if that would include some sticks like that, he would use those. And if not, he would use the ones that he pulled out of his bag earlier.
Yes, you could use some on the water, I would think.
Because I figure that these like snakes in its face would at least distract it long enough for us to be able to get him out of there.
Okay.
You're going to summon a bunch of water moccasins while the dwarf is in the water. Is what you're.
They do what I say. It's all right.
They do what you say. Okay.
They're on our
All right.
team. I got this.
All right.
So now with no phases, do you want that to be? Do you want the spell to be cast first, or what do you want?
Let's do that because I can have them attack it and get in its face.
Okay. Roll.
That'll give us all like a chance to do something more.
Roll 2d8.
If that's you guys. All right.
5. Okay, so so five of the sticks on top of the water, they suddenly jump into life, and they're like water moccasins, so they sort of like slither in S shapes across the water. And why don't you roll me 50% on a D100?
Okay.
You want low.
Okay. Do this right one.
I don't know what
99.
that is.
That's 99, so that's not great.
Something's messed up with those dice though, because you give me.
Oh,
two
I did 2 10s instead, but it was a 90 and a 90, so that would be 99
Right,
no matter
okay.
how you look at it.
Okay, so they are not poisonous, but they can still attack. So they get a +0 to attack, and they do 1d4 damage each. And what do we say, 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
So should I roll 5d20 or?
Not this round. So this round was casting the spell and animating the snakes, but they are there now in the water. Can they be directed towards you? The rest of you, what do you do?
If Niall and Mort are pulling on ropes, then Yost will pull out the black iron spear and be ready to stab if it's coming up too close to the ledge.
Got it. Okay.
And then I don't know what Elizabeth can be doing. Can she be holding the box or something and protecting us?
She was holding the lateral sack. Well, she's holding the lateral sack because so she can set that down and take out the box.
Well, the holy hand grenade comes out, and you feel a little bit more protected.
Sweet. And I think we're just hauling the hell out of that.
Yeah, we
rope.
got guys pulling snakes and.
Gordon, are you doing anything
John,
in the water?
I'm also going to be moving climbing the rope in the water.
Okay. All right. So you guys are hauling as fast as you can. You're dragging the bodies away, and you do seem to be able to haul it quicker than the turtle is able to get a bead on Gornd at least. So it's like basically like there's Rin in the back, then the turtle, and then Gornd. So there's like these ropes in between the turtles, right? And then Rin is quickly overtaking the turtle on top of it, right? Because the turtle's underneath the water. But it is your side of initiative. Well, you know what? Let's do this real quick house roll as well. For people who have to make death saving throws, let's make it sort of like the slow trait for weapons is that it always happens at the very end of a given round. Because that would be not good if you want initiative.
Time to do stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so bottom of the so let's see. I'm gonna say that the bodies, Goran and Rin, are up against the ledge, but not up all the way, like they're in the water. Okay, by the end of your guys' turn, as the turtle, this is all happening basically simultaneously, but the turtle is going to attempt to chomp on Goran.
I love that you're counting Gornd as a body already. That's great.
Goran, without your armor and shield, what's your AC?
Do the snakes do anything to distract him or mitigate this in any way?
Unfortunately not. Because they're not, you know what I mean? Like they don't get to attack this round, so they...
Yeah. Okay, I was just hoping to have some tasty treats in the way.
I'm AC 11, John. I actually have a +1 to my armor class.
So what is your AC?
11.
11. Okay. That's actually a decent point, Matt. Let's I think just skinny little snakes are a lot less attractive than a nice juicy dwarf. So we'll give it a 1 and 6. Go ahead and roll a 1 and 6. If you roll a 1, it'll be distracted by the snakes.
All right, I'm trying, Goran. I'm trying here. Oh,
No
3.
good. It likes dwarf. AC 11. Here we go. It chomps on you. How many hit points do you have, Goran?
I have 8.
Oh shit. 6.
Oh shit. Oh,
8. That was 3 dice,
Shit.
right?
Yeah.
That's 3.
And you're out, right? So it doesn't matter. Okay. So it does even more, but it basically like you're trying to haul him up as quick as you can. You see the thing kind of come out of the water in slow motion, like from underneath, just take Goran in its mouth and just rip him back down into the water. And it covers Rin, right? So now and then he just rips Goran apart relatively, and now there's 2 bodies in the water. This is basically like an unthinking creature, right? It's just like a normal, just large size thing. So I am going to be brutal, and it wants to eat. And there is juicy meat in the water. It will go after bodies. They are targets.
Right.
Okay, that was the end of the round. Now I need both Rin and Gorn to make death saves.
Before you do that,
Yes, Ted.
I have a question. So, I know we're modifying the combat a little bit because Yost had declared that he was going to attempt to stab with the spear.
Mm-hmm.
Does the turtle come close enough to do that, or it only did so on its initiative, so he can't do anything?
I guess everything's happening simultaneously, so yeah, let's go for it. Why not?
So Yost could at least attempt to stab the
Go for it.
turtle?
Go for it.
Okay. All right. That is a
Its AC is 16.
yeah, that's a 21.
Okay.
So it came too close, and now it will pay the price of 10 points of spear damage to its little knobby forehead.
10 points. Okay, that's not insignificant. Okay, so yeah, it comes up and rips Gorn, right? And then on the way down, it's just like, no! And jabs down, and the thing like plunges back down to the water, screaming, and bubbles like float up in blood and all that kind of stuff. It's just a mess at the base right now. You got 2 bloody bodies. The turtle is like leaking blood everywhere. It may have been enough, depending on what happens at the top of the round, to have scared it away. It is also still, in a good way, just an animal.
Right.
It values its survival above all else, so we'll see what happens here. Top of the round.
No, we got to do death saves.
Death saves, yes, please, yeah. So here we go. Do we lose another?
Who wants to go first?
I'm rolling.
Oh, God, no. Mike has
I feel
rolled.
bad for talking shit now. Fuck.
I'm sorry. Rolled a 1. That is the end of Gorn Blackhood, one of the great
I thought
veterans.
Mike was rolling for David, and David was going to roll for Mike. Is it?
I sincerely did not think that would happen. I thought you had like a 400 hit points, Mike.
Not after last session.
Yeah, you got beat up last time.
Rin.
I took a lot of damage, like trying to block the bombs and shit from that robot.
Yeah.
Rin, roll your die.
I'm so sad now. I hope
That's
I die too. In solidarity.
Oh no!
Baby!
Oh my goodness!
Never say I'm not there with you.
Virtual high five,
Oh my god!
Okay, our 2 next characters are going to be twins. We're going to play the most obnoxious 2 things that anyone in this party has ever experienced.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Brutal.
The
no.
backup character that I rolled like a year ago, and 1 computer ago, and I don't have it anymore.
You don't have it.
On that note, John, though, joking aside, I was trying to roll. I don't know if this is for the audience here. I was trying to roll because I figured this might happen because I don't have another backup because that was my backup.
No, understandable. Yeah.
And the dice spot's not working. So should we like take a beat and just do that real quick, or what do you want to do?
Okay. So first of all, no new characters are going to appear in the midst of this battle. So
Of course, yes, of course.
So
I just can't make it without the dice spot, or I can try to roll it elsewhere.
I
But
can roll. I have real dice right next to
That's
me.
true. I can.
No, hold on.
I'll do it.
Don't roll dice. First of all, Mike, I know where your character is, so you can't get away that easily. So, you know what? Like, you guys, hold off. Just hold off for a second while we go through the rest of this combat because I want to see how this resolves. I don't want to lose the momentum, and then
we might be joining you.
Yeah,
I love it.
Okay,
I love it.
Chill out. I'm sorry it happened, but it is what it is. Okay, so that was the end of the round. Top of the round. Any spells being cast?
Nope. I just got my old one already out.
Lisbeth, no.
No, she's just gonna like back up into the corner.
Okay.
Or no, she'll like stay out of range to keep us within that 10-foot bonus zone.
That's fine. I just need to know if anyone's declaring. Okay, Now we roll initiative. I got a 3.
Ted.
All right.
1 misses. Okay. So the turtle is going to roll for morale. The turtle's morale is 8, which means that if it rolls a 8 or under on 2d12, it stays in fights.
Okay.
And here we go.
2d12?
I'm sorry, 2d6. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
4. It's going to stay.
Okay.
Right.
It basically has, let's see, it has two targets. 2 juicy bleeding targets. It's not going to go for the snakes. So let's see. 1 to 2 is Gorned. And it is Gorned. So it's going to snatch Gorned and drag him underwater and basically disappear. Gorned, there are no more remains of Gorned to be found.
So
Rin is still floating on top of the water.
because we were pulling those things in actively.
Right. Yeah. So it's
They're tied
pulling
to
it.
ropes.
Yeah. If you want to fight the snapping turtle as it grabs Gorned bodily?
How giant is it?
It's fucking big. It's like 10 foot long.
If we pull, because it's going to stay there, and if we have to get in that water again,
Judging by its bulk, like it.
Yeah. What Mort and Yost want to do is pull it towards the ledge and get Yost to have another stab at it. That would be ideal. It's kill it.
And y'all can, if he gets close enough, y'all can do it too.
And I don't mind using Goran's body as bait. Sorry, man, but I think we got to kill this thing.
You should kill it, dude, because I've got that Spatha on me.
I know.
All my other equipment is up here, so that's actually not. I mean, but it is kind of a loss.
You have my light too. I want my light back.
Okay, this is what I'm going to do. We're going to do opposing attack rolls. Okay.
Okay.
And whoever gets the higher modified result wins the tug of war. Sound good?
Okay, so it's basically Mort versus the turtle on Goran's rope.
Yeah, sounds right to me. Is that right?
Unless Niall had Goran's rope. I don't know who had what rope, really.
Niall was pulling Rin.
Okay, so yeah, it's Mort.
So Mort, go ahead and roll d20. My modified result.
Oh!
What'd you roll?
Okay. Well, my modified die would be 9.
Mine is an 11.
Right. Okay.
So it yanks the rope out of your hands and pulls Gorn underneath the water.
All right.
Okay. And Yost doesn't get close enough to strike it. It doesn't come up close enough.
Yeah. Did you win initiative? No.
No, we didn't.
Yeah. Okay. So it's basically gonna reach up and drag him underneath the water. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So Gorn is gone. The turtle is gone. Unless you want to do something with the snakes.
I think the snakes I'd still want them to try to attack it.
Okay. We'll say that they could, that they're like water snakes or something like that, right? That's fine.
Makes sense.
So they're going to go down and they're going to do their best, but you can't really see what's going on. Everest, you know what I mean? Like they're, what's their speed? 90? Let me check this guy.
Hey, John, I found him, by the way.
I
found my backup. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they actually outpace the turtle, so they can certainly do that. So go ahead and roll. Let's see. What did we say? 5?
Yeah.
So 5d20.
2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
You're looking to hit 16 or higher. Nothing.
Okay.
So
I got a. Oh yeah, it's a +0. Okay.
Yeah. So they swarm around the turtle under the water, but the turtle basically goes back to wherever its lair happens to be. You have a fair idea where that probably is, and disappears. And combat is over. So silence reigns once again. I think this might be a good place to take a quick break and reassess.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will be right back. We're back. Tragedies unfolded. We have taken this time. It only took about 5-10 minutes for them to whip out a few new characters. They are not fully fleshed out, and I definitely want to give them the time that they need, since these are the actual characters that they're going to be having moving forward. So, but they're enough sketched out that they're ready to rock. But let's pick up where we were last time. So Gornd is gone. With Gornd, so the audience is aware and the party is aware, we have lost Ignis, the flaming spada. We have lost the holy symbol with the continual light spell on it, but that doesn't mean that Andreas can't cast continual light again.
Well, I wanted to ask on that. Is there a chance that he would have dropped the light spell or the spada, either one of those?
Drop them?
Like, yeah, when he was getting eaten, like,
something. It didn't actually get swallowed, or
just dropped it down to the bottom of the.
Well, yeah, sure. There's always a chance, right? 1 in 6.
All right.
for each.
Yeah, for each.
Okay, I'll roll for the holy symbol.
Nope.
That's a 5. Is that the one? Is 5 the one?
Nope.
That was the number we wanted. I knew it.
Technically, it is one of the numbers.
And the spada.
Ted, why don't you roll for that one?
All right. See, it was a 5.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So they did. Yeah. So unfortunately, both items are lost, and I forgot that we were called out in the comments correctly that we have been misnaming these swords. It's actually a gladius. That's the short version.
That's right.
The spada is the long version.
This is our punishment.
Yes, Ignis Gladius is gone. The continual light holy symbol is gone. Continual light, though, can be cast again if Andreas has the time to memorize it once again. But for now, darkness descends completely. It is now only lit by the luminescent moss. Gornd
No, we have the lamps going.
Oh, right. Thank you, Mort. Yes, that's right. The lamps are up there. That's very true. Gorn's body is gone. Rin is washing up and sort of bonking against the ledge. Dunk, dunk.
So I say we keep mobbing that. And maybe that turtle will come back and Yost can try and stab him again. So Yost is like, waiting on the ledge to see that turtle again. He's going to stab it. Especially if it comes floating up towards him and there's like, light coming out of its nostrils, right?
Yeah, we're going to have to watch later for some glowing turtle poop.
Unfortunately
That's
not.
right.
But in the ensuing silence as you are collecting yourself and realizing what has occurred, and I assume you're hauling Rin's body upwards, right?
Yeah, we'll take him out.
The snapping turtle does not appear to be returning anytime soon. As silence descends and you drag Rin's limp and mangled corpse up onto the top, you can hear slight whispering coming from the southern ledge.
Come on in, the water's fine.
A foreign tongue.
We're having a really bad day. Don't piss us off.
You could swear that the tones sound like the harsh syllables of the Kumus language can be heard from the southern ledge, and they seemed quite scared and frantic as they're whispering hurriedly. They're terrified. You could swear that you could smell the smell of urine, urine soaked
That's
pants.
my aftershave, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. And you almost see that for a moment as you look over there and you hear the sound, you could almost think that you see like shadows sort of moving on that ledge and that are trying to remain hidden but not doing such a good job.
I tried to turn them. I rolled 2d6.
Okay, what do you do?
So I have a couple questions. All right. So you guys came out here to this ledge by way of the water and got damn lucky, apparently. You came out to the ledge to just see what was here. There was nothing that lured you here other than ledge. Is that right?
Maybe the sound of thrashing water and screams.
Are you asking about the new guys or the old guys?
Nope. Sorry, I'm not asking the new characters. I'm asking the players.
Oh! Why did we come here?
Yeah, because I
this-
still don't have a full grasp of this room, and I need to get that before I can suggest anything further. So
Okay, so this was the most stable part of this thing. It was large enough for all of us to be in that didn't have a dead guy on it already. Also,
Okay,
with
so
with the torch sconces, we had something to hook the shoot.
Rope.
I lost my word. Yeah, the
Grappling hook.
the rope too. Yeah, the grappling hook. That's what I was searching for.
Okay, so you basically you waded out into the water. From the corridor, you waded out into this lake. And saw the head and went around it, or did you squeeze behind it by the wall?
We went around the front. We climbed up its ear to the top. That's where we attached our piton and
yeah,
right.
And they zip line down to the
So the rope, let's make it green here. Essentially is something like that.
Yeah,
that seems reasonable. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is there space on the north side of that head to cross between the head and the wall? Like, for example, if we were to kind of shimmy along the wall there, where maybe a turtle could not get at us.
No. So Ted, Matt did a great job. It's not exactly accurate with the head. So the head is like, in fact, the entire head is not freestanding. It's actually coming out of the wall. So there is no room to go behind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then my last question is, so this thing where the corpse is, that's a ledge because it's drawn like maybe a start of a corridor or something. What's going on there?
It's a ledge. Yeah. So it's similar to the one that you're on, but it's only 5 feet up from the water rather than 10. So you're kind of, if you look across from it, you're kind of looking a little bit down on it.
And it's 5 by 15. Is that what?
Yeah, it's around that. Yeah.
Yeah. We never really noticed the that western edge of it.
That's more or less correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So our options here then are trust that the turtle is full and we just get the heck out of here. And I don't have another option than that.
I would say that
we could go for the ledge. I mean, the stairs go down from the ledge into the water as if this were some sort of bathing pool or something, or diving.
We can't really see. Like, here's the thing that I'm concerned about is that body, that dead body, is directly in front, like it's in the view of that statue. So if something because there's something going on with her eyes with the black streaks coming out of them, if something comes out of that statue, because this is a space dedicated to her, right? If something comes out and that's the blast zone, that would be a dangerous place to be. So I'd like, one of the things I was hoping to do before all hell broke loose was examine that corpse more to see if we can get some clues about whether, what got him there. And if it's, that seems like a clear sign that it's not safe to be right there. Right. Okay.
Are there sconces on that ledge as well?
No. So this brings me to introducing the new characters. Okay. So they're first of all, you're looking down, so a little bit, like you're 5 feet above the southern ledge, right? So you can kind of look down, and emerging from the darkness at the far southern end, which is why we'll say you're in vision didn't ping off or anything like that. You can see sort of skirting at the very edge of the limits of your clay lantern thing on the western side of that ledge are two forms that have kind of moved a little bit into the light a little bit that are illuminated by the luminescent moss. They look like they're a little exhausted and tired, and a little bit afraid. Like they've probably been standing there for some time, probably a little bit worried about entering the water because of what happened to their companion.
Our companion.
So they're on this southern ledge, and they've just been sitting there watching us do this stuff the whole time.
Well, I'm just trying to get some fucking. I'm trying to get some fucking PCs in the game. You know what I mean? Just go with it. You know. In fact, I want to skip ahead.
I tried to tell you, but you were underwater.
So guess what? We skip ahead 10 minutes. You're all the best of friends. They're members of the AV Club. They have their brooches. Let's go.
Nice.
What do we do here?
Guys, I love you guys. This is great.
I don't need the introduction thing. It's a waste of time. Let's go.
Oh, come on. I have this great, 3-paragraph description of myself.
Yeah, tell us about your story, Mike.
I'm over it. So you wave hello, hey, we're in trouble.
Hi.
Let's figure out a way together to get out of here. Okay, and we move forward.
Yeah.
So no sconces there on that ledge. Though,
no sconces.
No sconces.
Let me ask you this: is there was a passageway onto that ledge?
No passageway.
You are trapped there. You.
Oh, we've been trapped there. Sorry.
All right. So Dredge and Kato, you two have come in as part of a group. This guy that is on top was one of your companions. You guys were like, what happened to you guys? And you guys actually have some information that you will be able to share with the rest of the party. Is that you can confirm that you were outside at the base of the plunge pool for the waterfall, and you were goofing around and doing your thing for a little while and pushing each other and horsing around, and one of your guys fell in and you followed him in, and then the current took you down and you got sucked. You totally disoriented, had no idea where you were rolled around like Goonies style through some sort of crazy tunnel slide or something like that, right? And then you basically were shot out into the underground part of. You could feel yourself going slightly upward as you were rocketing through this tunnel, and then you were shot out into the midst of the underground grotto, and you floated to the top, and that's when all hell broke loose, and a snapping turtle snatched your boy and snapped him in half and basically wung the rest of his corpse up on top of the ledge, which is where he now hangs. You guys were able to scramble up, and that was a few days ago, and you guys are terrified, and you have nowhere to go because you know the snapping turtle's there, and now you're even more terrified because you just saw 2 more people just get wasted by it. Oof. Okay?
Hot damn.
All right. Well,
sorry we didn't warn you guys about that.
Yeah, it's kind of a dick move.
Yeah.
You also would have been worried that they might have been enemies, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay. So can we go hand over hand to the statue and or were you dragging yourself through the water on that rope?
It was up above because this is that landing is 10 feet up, so we would and the statue's well above that. So
okay, so we could sort of one by one hand over hand to the statue, and then it's a hopefully short escape route to the exit corridor.
True. I mean, we still should probably check out the nose holes before we go, because that could, who knows, that could be the way out in and of itself. But yeah, let's. Well,
should we make it a full 3 characters that die this round, and I'll have Mort go up the nostril there because he's a little guy.
Why don't we all shimmy over? Climb up the rope.
We shouldn't all be there if something bad's going to happen, though.
Hand over hook. Oh, you don't want us all on the. Well, at least to get them there, right? So because if we can all get up on top of the statue, we can toss them a rope. We can tie one into the beaten that we already have.
All right, I'll tell you what.
Right?
Yeah. So Yost, I think Yost has rope. Yost does not have rope. Okay, so we need the rope that was tied to Rin. Sorry, Rin. We take the rope off of Rin. Yost will put it around his chest. He goes over to the statue, ties it off, throws rope to those guys, and then he will go towards the corridor, and he will wait there because he wants to kill that turtle. He wants turtle blood. So if he gets in a fight with turtle, that's great. But he'll go first, and he'll throw the rope and go to the corridor. It's only 30 feet from there, and he can wait.
Who's this? Yost?
Yost.
He's going back up to the corridor that you came from. Is that right?
That's what I'm proposing we do.
One? Okay.
Yeah. But
So
I see stunned silence. What an amazing plan.
I just think we should be ready to do that, but I think we should check out let's get those guys over to the.
That's what I'm saying. He goes to the statue. He gets a rope to the guys. He gets off the statue, gets out of their way. He goes to the corridor. And then I'm proposing that Mort follows up. He's last to come over, and he'll go up the nostril because he's little and he'll fit.
Okay.
But I don't think if you're proposing that the nostril is going to do something bad, having everyone on the statue is a terrible idea.
Okay, so we should all be clear before we gotcha. I'm with you.
Okay. So tell me.
That's my proposal. You've basically got it. What do you say?
I'm in. I like it.
So what's the first thing that happens, Ted?
Yost climbs hand over hand from the ledge to the statue.
Okay.
Ties the rope we had tied to Rin.
Mm-hmm.
He ties that to the statue as well,
Mm-hmm.
and throws it to the ledge to our new guys, Kato and Dredgen.
Okay.
Then he gets off the statue. He makes as big a leap towards the corridor entrance as he can make.
Uh-huh.
Right? Swims quickly to the entrance to the corridor and turns around prepared to fight the turtle if it's coming up out of the depths.
Okay.
I mean, he would.
But
I think
hopefully
he
he
would.
gets to somewhere shallow enough that he can get some footing.
Because that's all underwater there, right? Like he would be under the water.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I can see that the water goes into the corridor a bit.
Yeah.
You have
But
to
there's
swim
no way
up.
that end of the corridor is 40 feet deep, right? So the corridors.
Are you attaching yourself, Yost, or are you free swimming?
I was
the
thinking you'd be.
current might slip you away there.
Yeah. I'm not gonna.
Oh, it's that strong?
It's very strong. The reason
Oh.
Rin was able to do it because he was on a rope. But Yost is also
But
very
how did
strong.
they get from that corridor to the statue without being swept away?
Rope.
Yeah, we had a rope to pull us.
So you grappled the same rope to the statue and then from the statue to the ledge? Oh.
Now Yost is strong. So basically what would happen is if you wanted to free swim, you could just I would make you roll a strength check.
No, we
in
can
order-
do this. So we had 2 ropes tied to Rin as 100 feet. He just separates them. He ties 50 feet to throw the 20 feet to the ledge.
Yeah.
And the other 50 feet he ties to the rope separately. And he's got that around his waist as he swims to the corridor.
Okay. All right. So Yost does all that kind of stuff. Dredgen and Kato, the rope is thrown over to you guys. Yost dives back in with the other part of the rope, and you hurriedly swim as fast as you can. There's not seem to be any signs of the turtle that emerges. Dredgen and Kato can kind of keep an eye on the eastern side and see that there doesn't seem to be any movement. It's probably busy devouring Gorand. Might have a little bit of food coma. As
There's a lot of tryptophan in dwarf.
as Yost scurries, swims his way up. Yeah. So Yost, you the moment you enter the northern quarter, it is a stairway, right? So and you go up, and then it basically at the point where the stairway begins there and the water lines ends, that's where the flotsam basically abuts up, right? Where you emerge out of the water, and it's just like full of like gross things that Rin had to sort of wade through.
Right. All right. So Yost is going to be there with his spear ready on the best footing he can get.
Okay, yeah. So Yost now guys, Yost is like out of commission. Like he's not, he cannot communicate. You can't see him. He's like out of there. All right.
Okay. But there's still a rope leading to him. Like
there's
you
a rope
still see
leading
the
to him. Yes.
Okay.
Right, so all he has to do is untie it. And the next person, actually, you could just pull yourself along the rope.
Yeah. Hand over
Right.
hook.
So he's there tied to the rope to give it tension.
I would say though that because you had to separate the rope, Mort, that you're probably at the extent of that rope at this point, more or
Well,
less.
it's 2 50-foot ropes, 50-foot ropes.
Yeah.
Right.
So
there's
yeah.
Down
one
and
like
around
that,
and up. Yeah.
and one like that.
Right. But they're 50
So
feet,
that's
right?
like-
So but you're all the way up at the
Oh,
so-
up here.
yeah. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Let me make those green.
If you just attach yourself, you can go wherever you want, Yost. But I'm just saying, like you can't move any further northwards being attached to the rope. Okay.
All right.
In the meantime, what do these guys see, Mike and David, whenever you introduce yourselves in general? Obviously, just.
I actually don't know
weapons.
that much about what the Kumito
Kumus
look like. But basically just like I'm average height, average looks. wearing like leather armor with a small leather shield over my back. I have a short bow and a quiver and a dagger and a boot.
That works.
That's it.
They're very
Just
much like
right.
they're if you want to picture like them, they're your classic like central steppe Mongolian, like either like a combination of maybe Mongolian plus like Kazakh or Uzbek, you know, that sort of thing, you know.
I basically look like a bargain discount. I look like a bargain discount version of Subutai from Conan.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
But like a shittier
Cathars,
version.
you'd be like Cathars. That sort of thing. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That guy's a surfer, just so you know. So if you guys want to like, you know, be like, you know, surfer guys, that's cool
Jerry
too.
Lopez, man.
That's right, man.
Okay, Kato.
Similarly, in leather armor, I am the better looking of myself and my brother. And and that's about it.
Do you have any weapons?
I have been trying to figure that out, John.
It's not a problem. It's okay.
Sorry.
Who's the older?
I think we're twins, right? Are we twins,
We're
or
twins.
is there an older younger?
Yeah, we're twins.
Twins.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know,
I just look like I got
he was
dropped on my face.
older. He was older by about 10 minutes, and I've never let him live it down. I resent the shit out of
I've
it.
already marked these guys for death.
Yeah.
You wait, Todd. By next week, David and I are going to have 6 pages of exposition about where we've missing.
Listen, here's all I'll say. Here's all I'll say. Here's what I'll say. If there's another death impending, we need to instate a new rule for the entire party and maybe the audience, if you want to join along, which is that every time Mike or I die, everyone has to do a shot.
Oh, and tell the listeners out there, because they can't see what classes we're working with here.
I am an assassin, a human
And
assassin.
I'm a thief.
Ooh.
I am a thief.
All right, so you guys
We've
have.
taken the
This
questionable turn.
Yeah, things have
this
gone
is-
downhill, guys.
Yeah, but this is the character I made during session 0.
Yes,
Yes, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
okay.
right.
brought him back all the way back out. Yep, Ren was too, right? All the way back out, but
Oh, wow.
Ren was, I mean, how many years ago now? Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Kato though is brand new. All right. So that's the deal. So they're so they got a rope so they can move. You guys are at the other end. You guys are going to hand over to the statue of Arden and crawl up nostrils. Is that what I'm hearing?
Hand
I think
over
that
hook. Yeah.
The Mort will follow up. He'll be the last one to go over, and
Last
he
one to
will
go.
climb up the nose.
Okay.
Um,
So the rest of the party, including the new guys, are all going to be standing on top of the statue's head. Is that right?
I don't like the idea of leaving Mort by himself. I don't do it because we wouldn't know if anything happens. We wouldn't know. But we would.
Elizabeth off the thing, and Njal, and Av stays.
Can do that. Okay.
Or leave
Well, actually,
Njal
you know what?
and get Av off. You're the cleric, man. We need you. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Njal will stay.
Okay.
Av and Elizabeth will go around the corner. We'll go meet up with Yost.
Wait.
Okay.
So Av and Yost are going back up the corridor?
No. Av and Elizabeth are going to follow the rope that Yost is holding and join him in the corridor.
Okay.
Okay, so that on the
And
on the statue, it's Njal and
Mort.
and whatever the two new guys want to do.
Yeah, I don't know what they want to do.
I think they're looking up handbooks is what they're doing.
Shove the rope in the mouth.
Reggie and Kato, what are you doing?
I mean,
Get off the ledge.
What's up, Ted?
Get off the ledge.
Yeah, I want to get off the ledge. I thought I was on top of the head.
Yeah, they made it to the head. Yeah.
Then keep going. Go join Yost.
I would like to go
I
in
want to
the
stay here
nose with
for whatever
whoever
happens when you get up the nose. I'm
Okay,
staying
so
here
they-
for whatever.
So you guys stay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Avaricius is not with us, but all 3 other players are on the head.
Who's in the nose? Who's in the nose? Sorry. We are
Mort,
looking up.
Mort wanted to do it solo in case something explosive happened and we didn't lose another 3 characters.
You know what? I'm ready for it. I'm there with Mort. You know what?
All
This guy is jumping in.
Before he goes, Av says, "Remember the thing that was literally written on the wall? Let all persons honor the sacrifices of Arden. Make sure you honor her before you do anything, my friend."
Before you pick her
Gotcha.
nose.
Yeah.
Honor her before you.
Okay, Grotto and Mort are the nose pickers.
Yes.
Okay,
Sure.
you go straight up the nose right now.
Well, so here's what my plan was, which was, since we don't have the continual light and we've got lamps that are quite far away, is he was going to light a torch, like, hold the handle in his mouth while he goes hand over hand. So he's got a torch with him
Okay.
on the head.
Okay, mark it off.
And he wants to light that nostril and see what's going on in there as best he can.
Okay, Mort, just mark off the torch.
And it should be pretty good because the rope is still attached to the piton right there. And y'all's up top. He can pull you guys back up if need be. So you can use that rope to climb down.
Okay. Perfect. All right, torch is lit. Mort's got it, and Mort leads the way. Grotto following behind. As you is there a particular nostril you'd like to go in?
Well, I got the impression that someone had looked up them a bit already, or just noticed that they were very large.
Correct.
I think the second.
Oh, okay. So let's go with the right side nostril.
Okay. So you start to make your way up. You have to kind of clamber your way.
Well, I wanted to shine the light up first, like stick a torch up in the hole.
Okay. So it seems to be a 3-foot wide passageway that inclines steeply upward
Into the brain.
into the brain.
We go.
All right. So he's going to put a dagger in his teeth and start climbing up slowly.
Okay. Okay.
And
Yeah. So
being
it's
very cautious to look for, any like trigger or knob or handle or button or wire or anything.
Sure. All right. So you're very careful. You crawl your way up the nose using the torchlight as well. It's 3 feet wide. It's a little bit claustrophobic, and you have to be basically on all fours. This is a steep incline, but you are able to maintain footing, the two of you, as you crawl steeply upwards, and it forms. It looks like the two nostrils actually immediately just form like a single passageway, like a nasal tract, right? That goes upwards back towards the brain case, and then continues past what you know would be the back wall.
This is not at all what I expected.
There is, if you go directly, if you take Matt's ellipse there, if he goes directly from the center of that ellipse, there is a 3-foot wide passageway that extends for 30 feet, which starts right. Can you guys see my cursor? Do you see me?
Oh, what the?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the zero line. Okay.
I actually cannot see you.
You get 1 point for mapping.
Can you see me?
You disabled everyone else's cursors.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. My point being is that there is a 30-foot wide, a 3-foot wide, 30-foot long passageway that goes directly north from the center of the statue, and so it would actually end 10 feet north of the line that Matt has drawn as the boundary of the watery grotto.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Oh.
It does to me.
Yeah, I'm just having a lot of problems with there's all these artifacts in the room, the way it was drawn, and I'm trying to draw this as best I can. So basically, something like that.
Awesome.
Yeah, you got it. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, and it has worked.
And am
right?
I in the right space relative to the other north-south corridor?
Yep, you sure are.
Okay, great.
Now, that goes like steeply upwards, right? So when you get to the northernmost point, you see that it's basically like a blank wall, like there's nothing there. It doesn't exit anywhere. But the whole tunnel is devoid of water or debris or anything. It's like no one's ever been up here.
And is there any evidence of water erosion or wear?
No.
I think we should search.
Is it mortared, carved?
It is carved. It's carved. It's like worked Archontian stone, completely unadorned. But it's obviously not meant to mimic a nasal tract. It's meant to be like a secret passageway, right? You know what I mean? It's like it's very clear and arrow straight. You know what I mean?
Is it carved from the living rock, or is it actually worked stone?
Worked stone.
Seams.
Worked stone. So seams. Yes.
Okay, so
I'm
really
going to go
built.
to the end of this tunnel, and I'm going to search for a secret door. I'm going
Okay.
to
What are
check
you looking
every
for?
scene.
So you're
I
just
mean-
climbing over old Mort. You just pushing him aside.
I don't know
He's got
this
a
guy.
torch in his hand. You're gonna
Look,
burn yourself.
he's a
climb over him.
goblin. You know, I don't know
Kumas
if
are
I
a different
trust
breed.
him.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna push him aside and say, clearly there is another egress somewhere. I'm gonna check the seam. Wall to ceiling.
Okay, so
And I'm
in
gonna
the
look for any-
in the seam where the wall meets the ceiling, you see that in the roof, the ceiling basically, there is a small 1-inch hole that is obviously been carved with like an indentation there.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick my finger in it.
Where's the gold rod, dude?
You stick your finger in it, okay, and
We're gonna need it.
you can feel something stone depress, okay,
Oh.
and then that whole 3-foot wide section of wall at the end opens up.
Sure. What do I see, John?
Oh my goodness!
What is the PSI of the water behind that wall, John?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how hard, I had the same thought, man. I was like, how hard do I get blown back? David, roll another character.
The snot reservoir has been kept.
Okay,
I love it.
the first thing that happens whenever the door opens up is that you are blasted with light. There is a continual, steady radiance that is emanating from the other side of this door. So like you're just like as it's like really bright, and then as your eyes sort of adjust, you can see that directly in front of you. I would say about 5 feet in front of you, there is a massive circle in the ground. And
Like a round room.
no, I'm just giving you your first impressions as he opens the door. What takes up his eyesight, basically, when his eyes adjust, is a circle that is sunken into the center of the chamber, and it's about 20 feet in diameter, and it's sunken about 5 feet below the surface of the floor. You can see that there is a corpse that looks relatively recent, that it lies in the sunken area, and the corpse is heavily armored and has a very large, very looking nice 2-handed sword that has been tossed to the side as well. But his corpse is just like sprawled in the midst of this sunken thing. Now, that's the first thing that sort of takes up your attention. You can see, however, that you are emerging from the southern wall of a very, very large rectangular chamber that spreads out as far as the eye can see to both the west and the east. The entire chamber is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It is 110 feet east to west.
Okay.
I'm sorry, make that it's a little too hard to describe. So it's 110 feet east to west, but on either the western and eastern side, there is also a 5-foot extra section, Ted. Do you know what I mean? So it's actually 120, but there's like 5 feet on either end. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Might, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry if that's confusing. And you can see no signs of staircases or anything. Well, yeah.
Where are we entering?
So you're entering
The
directly in the direct middle of the southern end, the southern wall.
So we're well above the corridor that's to my right on this map.
Yeah, you will. There is some verticality here, but basically it goes an equidistant amount to the east and west, or either side, 120 feet total. There's a 20-foot diameter sunken circle in the middle. That sunken circle is 5 feet deep. And additionally, at regular intervals to the east and west in the middle of the room are 2 rows of pillars. In those pillars, there are 12 of them. 12.
Oh, okay.
I gotta go answer my door. I'll be right back.
Okay. So the north and south walls feature elaborate and surprisingly well-preserved frescoes that illustrate iconic moments from each of the 12 labors of Arden. There is a giant 2-foot-tall, silver-filled Mithric inscription that is set into the center of the northern wall, which you haven't read yet. And then the pillars are all carved in a spiral fashion, sort of like Trajan's column. And they appear to have like letters and pictures on them, but you haven't been able to determine what those are exactly. And the whole room is brightly lit. Now, the egresses, you can see that in the middle of the eastern and western walls, there are narrow staircases that go up on either end of the far ends of the room.
So I don't actually know how big this room is north to south.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is 30 feet north to south. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
It's a very long, rectangular, narrow room. And Ted, you should be aware you're using green instead of black.
I am, because I'm overlapping existing stuff.
Ah, okay.
So I made it green so I know.
Different
an
level.
overlap level.
You're smart. That's very smart.
Thank you. And then, okay, so I've got a long corridor like this, and then I've got stairs in the center of either end, right?
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I think that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I think you got it, Ted.
And these stairs go up?
They go up, yeah. So you want to switch them around there a little bit.
Oh, I got to reverse them, don't I?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll just write the word up. Yeah, I can switch them easily enough. Okay.
Now, interestingly, there's a little bit of, detritus, not much, right? No signs of blood other than the corpse in the center, the sunken circle, right? But it does appear to be relatively empty of dust, right? There's definitely had traffic in here at some point, or something going on there.
John, did you mention how fresh that corpse looked?
It's relatively fresh, actually.
Very fresh.
Mm-hmm.
For what it's worth, I would like to search the corpse and steal the sword and equip it. So,
can you use a two-handed sword?
And you guy, what makes you think you get the loot?
Yep, you sure can.
I can use it, I believe.
You can use it. You can't backstab with it, but you can certainly use it.
I'm not going to backstab with it.
20-foot pool, you said?
20-foot pool, yep. You got it. That's right, Ted.
Okay, and then I'm not going to. Well, maybe I'll add the columns.
So it's not a pool. Just to be clear, it's a sunken area, 5 feet.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
So there's no liquid in it. There is a corpse.
And there's 12 columns.
There's 12 columns. They're in double rows. So there are 6 on to the west and 6 to the east, and they're in the middle of the chamber. But they're there's double rows. So there's like 3 on the north, 3 on the south, and then the same thing on the west, on the eastern side. So that's the deal. Grotto, you step out and you go investigate the body. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I'd like to investigate the body.
Okay. Grotto lightly steps over and takes a look. Now, when you look over there, you can see that whoever this was who met his fate here, you can't really determine, can you? Yes, you can. It looks like this was a knight of some sort, wearing beautiful, obviously magical banded mail. And then when you see it, you see the blue tint on that banded mail, and you're like, holy shit. This is a Knight of the Azure Shield.
Is it dwarf sized?
Please let it be dwarf sized. Please just say it is.
So that this is one of Lady Alexia's people, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's a Knight of it has it's male. He was a big guy, right? And he's wearing banded mail that is definitely serviceable. You can see that he definitely died from being mauled by claws. Of some sort. Now, the sword is very large, two-handed grip. On the crossguard itself, right in the center of the crossguard, you see something move. And it's something round. And when you look and you notice the movement, you see that there is an eye, a very large cat-like eye in the center of the crossguard, and it moves like a crazy, like Mad Eye Moody, just like moves all around and like focuses on you and looks at you, and the slit-like pupil narrows like Sauron's, right? As it kind of looks, as it obviously like gazes upon you, and you are entranced by it as you are suddenly locked into a battle of wills with a sentient sword.
You found Lionel's sword, man. Thundercat's hoe, baby.
I love it.
So this is some classic old school D&D stuff.
Really great wisdom.
So we have here the ego scores and all this kind of cool stuff with the sentient sword. So this is the way that it works. What is your alignment, Kato?
Neutral.
Okay. Okay, so I gotta roll some dice. Give me a second.
Go for it.
Okay. All right, 21. Okay, what is your strength plus wisdom combined, the actual scores?
15 strength and an 8 wisdom. So the sum total would be a 23, I believe.
23 versus my 21. So that might have to be looked up. Give me a second.
Eat my ass, sword.
We're doing a control check here.
Okay, cool.
New guy blunders in, picks up the sword. Man, I hope it wins.
You're at full hit points.
Look, I would love, for our audience's sake, that I could lose 2 characters in one session. That'd be a good lesson for everybody.
What kind of border are you going to put on the episode, God?
Technically, I misread it. It actually only happens if you touch the sword. So it looks at you. Were you going to touch it? Knowing you.
I touched the sword.
That's when the control check comes in. We compare the scores. So we compare its ego score versus your strength plus wisdom. And you beat it. And so you were able to, you could see there's like a moment where you're like resting it, and all your vision is just filled like the Palantir with like this eye, right? And you're like, no, you are mine to command. And you rest control, and you can feel it in your head like sort of hiss for a second in like in frustration, and then it sort of yields up its secrets to you, right? It's just like it can't help but give it to you. And the first thing it names itself, and its name is Oculos.
Oculos. Oculos.
And it basically whispers to you now in this sort of like kind of what's the word, sycophantic sort of voice. It's like, I will serve you most readily, master. I can't wait to draw blood for you.
I'll find much for you, my friend. This is going to be a productive relationship. Do you see this goblin in front of me? I just met him. Do you want his blood?
So in reality, it cannot speak language. It communicates through empathy. It doesn't have a high enough intelligence, but it gives you like sense impressions of what it's feeling. And it gives you the sense impression that it's a +2 weapon.
Oh, baby.
Can it please just kind of meow at him and stuff? Is it...
So
cat's eye. Meow,
it actually has like a good disposition, like it's like not an evil sword or anything like that, but it just doesn't like to have control taken away from it. But it's so that's why it's sort of being like sycophantic towards you, But it is +2. It can detect evil in a 10-foot radius at all times. It can detect invisible objects in a 10-foot radius at all times.
Invisible objects.
That's awesome.
And it is +2. It has an intelligence of 13 and an ego of 4. It ended up having so that was 17, but then it had a randomly generated higher number than that because your alignments differed. But you still managed to overcome it. In addition, the knight is wearing a nice suit of banded mail, modern, right? And
which I'm going to put on, by the way.
You're going to take that?
Yeah, I'm going to take everything and wear it.
Okay, and he also has a purse with a bunch of
sneaky thief.
A purse with a bunch of gems in it.
Yeah.
And the gems are rhodochrosites. I don't know what the hell those are. There's 25 of them, and each one of them is worth 10 GP.
All right.
Anything else on him with the close inspection if I take a turn?
That appears to be it, but it would take a turn definitely to take the armor off and put it on.
Well, while he's doing that,
me. Okay.
Mort's going to go back down the nostril and say, "Hey, anybody want to come up here?" and kind of yell that there's a big room and there's 2 staircases going up.
It seems.
I'm going to go up it. Yep.
Okay.
Well, Njal at this point would also like take that signal to kind of like give a couple of yanks on the trailing rope, the signal that they would have agreed upon that we should probably come back.
Okay, so you guys are going to come back down the water through the flotsam and up the nose.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to say that Mort, you could have done that while Kato was doing his thing, but I think like the whole traversal and getting everyone in, I'm going to mark off another 2 turns. Does that sound fair?
That sounds fair.
Okay.
And John, with Avaricios's kind of mental, because those snakes last 6 turns, he would ask those snakes to basically kind of like keep watch for that turtle. And if he starts coming back, for one of them to come back and
cool, love it.
Let them know.
That works. They're happy to do so. And right. So let me see here. Give me a second. I got to look up a AC here in a moment. Give me a sec. Weapons. Sorry.
Give me the good armor. Give it to me.
I'm going to find an equivalent. We'll call it the segmentata. So it's going to give you, the banded would give you a base of 15. And so it's a +1, so it'll give you a 16 AC.
+1. Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. And it's banded, and it's blue. So it's there is a role-playing aspect to this, Kato, similar to like the Imperial Legionnaire armor, is that if you're wearing an obvious suit of the Knights of the Azure Shield, no one's allowed to wear that unless you are a sworn member of the Brotherhood. So just keep that in mind. You can probably extrapolate what the consequences might be. And yes, that will. I don't know the exact way I would have to punish you mechanically, but that will definitely compromise your ability to do a lot of these skills, moving silently, hiding, that sort of thing. Okay. All right, that's the deal. So the rest of you are emerged from this very narrow secret door into this wondrous chamber. What do you do?
So while people are piling up the nostril, Mort is going to go over to the western stair, and he's got a torch, so he's going to go look up that stair.
Okay.
Oh, and what is the source of light in this room? You said it's just glowing like crazy. Is it just the room has got magic light on it?
It's just an omnipresent light. It's like a sourceless light, which probably speaks to its importance. Yeah.
What's going on in the ceiling, John? If you describe that, I don't remember.
So the ceiling is vaulted, but it's just like well-made Archontian stonework. There's no frescoes on the ceiling, but the walls themselves, the north and south walls, have all these depictions of the 12 labors of Arden doing the 12 labors. And then there is this inscription in the middle of the northern wall, which you have not investigated. And you have not investigated the pillars either. So I'm hearing that Mort is just Mort's whipping by those, right? And going right to the staircase.
Basically, because I want to know where, could something come down here? What's nearby?
I get it.
Right.
Okay. So the staircase up, Mort, actually takes up only the rest of that square that the 5-foot increment was in. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, I do. Let me zoom in on that. And I'll just do that.
Yeah, you got it. Correct. And then that opens up into a rectangular room that is 20 feet east to west and 30 feet north to south. And you're debouching from the top of that staircase from the middle of the eastern wall. Okay.
So... Oh, 20 foot deep, you said?
Yeah, but just lightly mark it out because there are some egresses here that you're going to want to note. There is a northern door that is broken and swinging crazily on its hinges, and there is a southern door that is intact. The southern, both doors, one open, one closed, are both in the western corners of the northern and southern walls, respectively. The walls are bare. However, looking back in the direction down the stairs, Mort, okay, once you kind of enter that chamber, you can see that.
Yeah.
So there's an archway basically that frames the stairway going back down into the pillared hall. There is an inscription above that archway in Mithric. However, that's just the basic outline. What immediately takes up your attention when you enter the room after leaving the staircase is that there are corpses in the middle of the floor. 5 long dead, obvious Archontians. It's very obvious that they show signs similar to all the chambers to the north of having slain each other with both swords and spears. None of them look particularly magical, but they all do appear to be perfectly serviceable gladiuses and spears.
5 corpses.
5 corpses, yeah.
And an inscription on an archway, you said?
Yeah, on the archway leading back down the stairs, right? So there's a broken door to the north, and there's a closed door to the south.
And what does the inscription say?
It's in Mithric.
Oh.
John, with from the verticality point of view, you said that the slope from the nostril was going upwards.
Mm-hmm.
Is it about the same distance as the stairs that went down into the turtle room? So
Relative.
We can kind of assume that we are back on the same level as Eustace.
But that stairwell went kind of underneath it, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to tell, but more or less.
So
you
John,
can work on that supposition. Yeah.
While Mort's doing that, I'm interested in the columns. I'm interested in the wall. But the thing that Avaricios would mostly be interested in is you described this the knight as been having been killed by claw, obvious kind of claw mark.
Yep.
Are there any blood trails from that leading in any direction? Because something got gore on their claws and ran off.
An excellent question. Yeah. So the floor appears to be clean and bare. There's no signs of blood anywhere, except immediately around the corpse, like in that 5-foot depression.
And that 5-foot depression, is that
summoning depression?
Is it just stone in there?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
Something got summoned and killed him right there in the circle, and it's not good.
Yeah. What's interesting is, so it appears to be of the same stone as the rest of the area, but it's been demarcated and then sunken for 5 feet, right? But there's no like weird diagrams or pentagrams or altars or anything like that.
This is like a conversation pit.
A conversation pit, exactly. Yeah.
They built this in the 70s. Is there shag carpet?
Yeah, it's like that, like the Help video from the Beatles. Yeah, not Help. You got to hide your love away. Yeah. Anyways.
All right. So.
Got to hide your.
Great.
So he'd be curious to see if he could find number 12, that mysterious 12th labor that we don't know anything about. That big mystery 12.
So, are you looking on the frescoes, or what are you trying to investigate? What are you trying to find the 12th on?
Well, there are 12. I guess he'd start looking at the column since they're 12 and see if there's any correlation between what's on the column and the fresco nearby it. Okay.
So, first of all, you're not touching the pillars, but you're investigating the ones that are closest to you. Carved in a spiral manner at eye height on the outer face of each pillar. The outer face, right? Like not facing inwards towards the center of the chamber. On the outer face is carved in Archontian numeral. Just picture like Roman numerals from 1 to 11. All right. As you kind of pick out like, oh, these are numbered, I see. And then you're like, oh, well, I wonder what the 12 looks like. You find it. It is in the, let me just double check here. Yes, it is in the far southeast. That has, unlike the rest of the pillars, has no additional carved images at all, which may actually align with what you know about the 12 labors.
Mm-hmm. It does, yeah.
The rest of the pillars, however, there are narrative scenes that flow around them. Let's see. Each one of them basically tells the story of one of the 12 labors, and they do seem to align with the numbers that are on each pillar.
Okay.
That's what you get from a casual inspection without touching. That's what you kind of see.
Okay.
Don't forget that there is a huge inscription on the northern wall that you have not investigated.
Does anyone speak Mithric anymore?
Doesn't. I still haven't learned it. I haven't picked it up.
I rolled max read languages for my thief for that reason.
Oh, okay.
So
you're gonna go try and decipher it, but it's not a guaranteed thing, right?
It's not guaranteed, but I can try to decipher. Yes, I have an 80% chance ish.
Grotto, you want to do that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. That sounds like you put 5 out of 6. Is that what you've got for read language?
I did indeed put 5 out of 6. Yeah. The most useful thief. A speaker of languages.
83%. Hey, man. In this module,
I know.
My heart sunk when you said like no Mithric. I'm like, fuck, you guys are so screwed.
Well, no, because I didn't, regardless of what class I ran, I didn't have enough intelligence to get a second language. So
that's
I
correct.
Never do Mithric.
Yeah.
So that's why I chose thief for this particular reason. All right.
Okay.
So what am I rolling? Jesus, I'm overwhelmed already. 6-sider.
Don't roll a 6.
We got it.
Okay. You're able to. You see Grotto sort of. You're looking at this guy. You're like, this does not seem the kind of guy you would know. And he's like, well. Okay. It's giant 2 feet tall silver-filled Mithric letters. It looks like they would be worth money if you were able to scrape out the silver from the etchings, if you dare.
Yeah.
And it says. So it's above the sunken area, right? Like it's across the sunken area on that part of the wall. It says, only the worthy should seek to emulate the deeds of the great defender. Choose wisely.
Ugh. It's not really my forte. I have a 4 wisdom.
And don't forget, there's also another inscription back where Mort is.
I'm guessing that our dead Azure Knight did try to emulate a deed. He chose a column, activated something, and he chose poorly and it kicked his ass. So what were the labors? There's one with the dragons.
Well, if you look over on Miro.
Yeah.
He's on Miro, that's right. There they are.
What? Check it out, audience. Look what you can do with Miro.
We've got a troll. Does that look like owlbear wounds?
Oh my god, the 12th labor says had a really violent romance with a guy named Onweir. That's so strange.
The prophecy is fulfilled.
Nobody would survive that one.
So those
John,
wounds look like owlbear wounds, John, like bird
mauled by
rending?
very large claws. You can make your own conclusion.
So, guys, here's a thought, and it's a question for John.
Mm-hmm.
When we had Mort with us in his NPC cloud on our way down here,
mm-hmm.
what are the chances that we would have dunked, baptized Mort in the in Arden's hot tub?
100%. He's a filthy little goblin. You definitely washed him.
No, Mort is in the NPC cloud. If you want that goodness, you got to actually physically go back there.
I tried, Mort. I tried.
I know. No, I didn't even try earlier because I knew that's exactly what John was going to say.
So what do you do?
I don't think we should touch anything. We should probably read the other inscription. Maybe look at the south to see if there's
Come up
one
here
down
and
there.
read this thing, Grotto.
Grotto. Where are you, Grotto? Can you name that movie?
Yes, that's the Pink Panther.
Yeah, that's great. Grotto. Where are you hiding, Grotto?
Blow my spot up already. All right, that was just a random name I chose.
Sure.
All right, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Yeah.
All right. Huzzah.
Success.
All right, so this is the on the archway leading back down the stairways into the room from the western room. That one says, reticulating splines. It says, she was immovable and steadfast. That's what it says.
And just to clarify again about this room, there's dead ancient legionnaires in here. And you said the floor was dusty or not dusty?
Not dusty.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like immaculate. It's not like weirdly
No.
clean, right? It's just that.
But not one of these rooms where clearly no one's trodden here for 2,000 years kind
Correct.
of thing.
You got it. Yeah.
Right. All right.
It's not
I wonder if
gelatinous cube clean.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, no cube cleaning. Oh.
No cube cleaning. You can definitely guarantee that.
So, John, with my little trio over, because we just like checked out column number 12, is there any similar inscription over the eastern wall archway?
So that was
Stairwell.
that was on the smaller
You
room
have to go up
side.
the stairs.
You would have to go up the
Oh,
stairs if you want.
Okay.
You want to go up the stairs?
Yeah. He'll go with Nyal and Elizabeth too.
Okay. So Ted, as far as the stair arrangement, it's the same thing as the western one, right? So just
Yeah.
part of that square,
Yeah.
and then it actually opens up into what you would assume at one point was an exact symmetrical replication of the western one, but now has some damage to it. So it opens up
Cave in?
into.
Is there a cave in?
Yes, there is.
Ah!
Yes, there is. Look at that.
Okay.
How did you deduce that, Ted? Why did because you're an
Good
awesome mapper?
mapping is what deduced that, baby.
Correct.
Good mapping.
So there now there exists basically a perfectly not perfect a 20 foot by 20 foot square room. However, the northern side of that room is completely demolished with a massive cave in. And you are entering in from the northwestern side of the western wall of that remaining room. Let's see, what do we got here?
Are there any doors out on the southern wall?
No, there are not.
Huh. Okay.
Unless hold on, where? Okay.
So something like that?
You got it. Perfect.
Or
Yep.
yeah,
Perfect.
okay.
So looks like the northern wall's caved in. There is a corpse that lies slumped against the western wall, so directly to your right when you enter into the room, Avaricius.
Oh, jeez. Yes.
It's holding a short sword and a shield, and his torso is filled with crossbow bolts and broken spear shafts. Just based upon his dress, you can tell that this was a more high-ranking officer, but not as high as Eustace. Probably a decarch. Near him lie the corpses of 3 legionnaires killed by short sword thrusts. The one is carrying a short sword, just be aware. It looks like he also has around his chest and hanging by his side, there is a leather book satchel. And you can see that there is a large book that is sort of peeking out from that. And yes, over the arch leading back down the stairs, there is another inscription in Mithric. So it looks like this officer met his end by his own people here.
Right.
Kato shows up. Yeah. Kato translates. Kato, it says, fidelity was her guiding light.
I mean, I have to say, I do feel like a lot of the information we're getting is again in reverse from the direction we came, right? Like, I think just the sheer fortune of us teleporting in where we did.
Yeah. Sheer
It's
fortune.
such-
How
it's
many
such that
characters
is
have died since we
Well,
teleported in?
I know, fair enough. But what I'm getting at is I think a lot of this information is useful to us in the direction that we came from. I could be wrong, of course.
So, John, quickly looking in that room, if you look up where the rocks came down, is it all solid, or can you see any spaces where you can like
No
climb
spaces,
up or escape that way?
unfortunately. It would look like it would take a massive effort to clear. Not impossible, but time is basically what you're looking at there, and it would take a lot of it.
All right. I would. I want to poke at the dead guy and see if he responds.
He does not respond.
Okay. If you don't
can
mind,
we search him? Can
Yeah,
we
you
search
don't-
him for like paperwork?
well, I'm going to take the book that I see, and he's got the leather satchel, a book in a leather satchel.
Okay.
I'm going to take.
So yeah,
take
so
a
you
look
take
at
you take the book. You can also tell that his armor is fine, but not magical. But he does appear the short sword that he had that appears to have slain the 3 legionnaires in front of him as well. Does appear to be rather nice. It is a gladius. It is shining and gleaming silver. It looks quite lovely. And when you pull out the book, it also brings with it at the bottom of that satchel 15 ancient gold solidi, which is nice because that's more than what it looks like. The book appears to be a deluxe copy, like a folio illustrated edition sort of thing of the 12 Labors of Arden. So
I suppose it has the 12th labor in it.
So you no longer need to. I mean, obviously, as players, you have access to the full labors, but as characters, you would not need to recall that anymore. You could actually read the whole thing. It's all very familiar. Well, I would say that actually, having chose Kumus for the twins, you guys would probably be pretty well ignorant of any of those Archontian things.
So we have a chance to teach them. Oh, look, we can walk you through all 12.
But that's actually an important thing to keep in mind when building characters and stuff like that. It's I know that you were like, Kumus, that sounds interesting and different, but it does have effects, as far as the things that you may know and be able to recall, right? I would say that Kumus are very far removed from the Empire proper, so they would be pretty ignorant of all the cultural traditions. Sorry, go ahead.
I would go ahead and pick up the, you said it was a Gladius?
Yeah.
Does it stick to my hand?
It does not stick to your hand, no.
Okay.
But it does feel perfectly weighted. It feels like it's like a really nice weapon. It's pretty sweet.
All right. Well, I'm not going to use it. Njal can arm wrestle at the smiley new guys over there waving.
Okay. You feel like what should I say? When you hold the weapon, it's so well balanced. It seems to actually provide. You feel like your own reaction times may have been you're a little bit lighter in your step, sort of thing.
Oh. Well, maybe I'll just
you might be able to get out of the way of things a little bit easier because you're holding this blade.
Huh.
Didn't work. The guy's dead.
He killed 3 of his own. Okay.
That's true. That did not demonstrate good fidelity, gentlemen. They were not acting like Arden.
So we are at time. I think this is a great place to stop. You can continue further investigating this amazing hall at your leisure next time. Sound good? Or is there any last thing that you want to do?
I'm in.
Okay.
No, this is awesome.
All right. What an episode. Jesus, that did not take the
Wow.
turn. So we'll see how this all turns out. We got 2 new members, and we'll take it from there. So everyone, thanks for watching and or listening. You've been watching and or listening to 3D6 Down the Line. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you haven't heard the word, even though you may be watching this episode many years in the future, but as the time of this recording, we have just opened up our public Discord, and I will put a link for that down in the description below. And it is already hopping, so please come on in and join the conversation. We would love to chat with all of you. And but as always, please keep up the comments in YouTube as well. We've got to feed the algorithm, people. Feed the algorithm. And until next time, everyone have a great week, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.
See you later. Thank you, John.